So just like we just discussed, right? Big push for this next year, get more and more organized play into the store level. We of course have the retailer support kits. If your stores have participated in that program, if they're looking to participate in that program, those are free supports that are available to them through their Asmodee representatives, their Asmodee distribution units. We really want to make sure that we're working in unison with our retailers to promote big releases like Apocalypse, like the Monsters Unleashed pack, all those things with cool new rewards, gold, Apocalypse cards, all that kind of cool stuff. In addition to that, starting this year, we're going to have the free store tournament league kits. Again, these are kits that can be played as either single-day events or multi-week leagues. And they have pricing for all the rounds in them that all players get. If you wind up finishing in the top 4, you do get gold foil stamps, that's a hard word to say, top 4 awards of the last round card. And then of course, for the champion of the event, they will get a plastic stat card as well, so that they'll have that to go with it. We're really excited about how these things will work and where they're going with that. And so we're committed again to bringing that stuff in. We also have plans for more event kits that have different game modes in them, and like previous ones, they bring in Heist, Masterworks, those kinds of things. And of course, larger tournament store kits as well, that will allow players to have bigger or larger celebration events, maybe bring in a couple of different communities together, and kind of replicate that GT experience like the GTs that we started last year. And so again, this is something that we're working towards. We have a lot of plans, a lot of work going forward with, but we're really committed to making sure that play at the store level will feel similar-ish, but it'll never compare to a play at an Adepticon. But we want to make sure that everyone has an exciting and rewarding time doing so. Let's go ahead and jump to the next slide. So this is not necessarily new, but I did want to talk about it. Ross left it in here for me. He's not here, so I can't get him out. But let's just jump ahead. No, not from the slide. So for those of you who know, I'm gonna use this opportunity to really get it, because I'm gonna talk about something that wasn't necessarily on the slide deck, but now he set me up, so we're gonna do it. So the Crisis card pack for this year, War of Kings. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the new Crises who've gotten to play it. I know there was an event here about that. I know in the US it was a little delayed, so hopefully it'll be your chance to pick yours up. If you want, get to play with Gladiator, all that cool stuff. We talked a little bit on stream about what this new program, what this new product type is. And one of our big things that we're focusing on from now to the near future going forward is to make sure that we have new Crises injected every year. The way we're going to do that is through the Crisis card packs. And one of the really fun things about this product type and the way in which we're able to introduce these cards is that we get to theme them around a Marvel storyline or arc, which really helps us as developers come up with cool ideas to really change and kind of shake up the way the game is played, maybe introduce new objective types and things like that. And then, of course, if you want to play through the War of Kings storyline, you get to kind of see how our narrative brains worked in creating these crises as we went through these awesome comic stories. So War of Kings was this year. I'm just going to tell you what next year's is because, you know, Ross made a mistake, so why not? So next year's is going to be all about Mutants and Sentinels, and it is the top extended story. This pack has been spearheaded by Ben Ransom. He's been doing some pretty incredible work. We threw some pretty wild ideas at him to really shake up what crises could mean, what objectives could mean. You're going to see a new objective type. They have arcs. You can turn them around, camera style, all of this stuff. There's going to be unlimited, how would you say that? Sources, there's going to be sources. That's really boring. I don't like that word, Ben. I guess we'll workshop it later. Pez dispensers, yes. So there's going to be a new type of extract, which effectively the token doesn't get picked up. You just pick up an asset from it, which allows for more scoring opportunities and more ways to interact with how extract tokens work within the game and how you function around them, especially with the secures and the new secure types that we have. So a lot of really cool things coming. And of course, this goes back into our work within the organized play system as a challenger document, where we're now able to create competitive formats that rotate out certain crises and have a fresh mix. And that allows players who are not playing within a tournament setting to enjoy all of the different crises. It really opens us up as developers to be able to explore fun ideas that maybe don't work within, you know, a round-timed kind of tournament setting, but work great when you're just playing the game as intended right out of the box, right? Just with your friends across the kitchen table or at the game store on opening game night. And we want to have those experiences, right? Those are the things that really draw us to the game. And then when you step into that challenger tournament or anything else, you can now have to hone your skills against a limited selection of these things and think about how it impacts your roster, how it impacts your team tactic card selection, all these different things. And so we've already kind of started that process here with the current challenger document and the addition of the War of Kings Crisis card pack. As we move forward, Tolerance's Extinction Crisis card pack is going to continue to build on that and allow us even more opportunities. And again, it's going to bring some things that are going to really shake up the game in terms of how those things work. And you can expect that pack coming up next year around the same time as War of Kings. So there's a lot to look forward to. We're really excited to finish that one and bring it across the line. The playtesting has been really positive on it. We've had a lot of fun with how we've been able to bring a lot of new strategies and tactics to the game. All right, we're just going to zip right by this one because this one definitely wasn't supposed to be on there. Because everyone knows, and we've all seen the cards, and so this was for Ross's Gamma presentation. We left it in. They're super cool anyway. Like, we love them. It's great.
Yeah.
But let's just go ahead and jump to the next part. Okay, so I want to take a moment. We want to talk about restocks and reissues. And so we know that there's a lot of the original character packs and things like that that have become more and more difficult to find. They're starting to disappear in the wild. And this is somewhat intentional on our part, because what we are looking to do as we move forward is to continually reissue some of the original releases into new combined packs. And so you've seen this work throughout the last couple of years, but it really ramps up this year and moving into next. This allows us to move everything into multilingual, which is really important for the logistics and the global availability of the product. It also allows us to control pricing. So as you all know, 2 character packs does not equal typically the cost of an affiliation pack. It's really important that we make the game accessible, that we allow players the ability to be able to jump in and understand things. And rather than re-release the same things in a new package and charge you $10 more, we'd rather charge you $15 less. It just makes sense because it brings more players into the game and lets you have more fun and lets you have So we obviously have a lot of characters. We have a lot of character packs. There's a long road. We wanted to give you kind of a zoomed-in view of some of the ones that are even coming this year. I think the next slide has the one that everyone's going to really want to know about. No, I lied. It's the one after that, but that's okay. So we have these ones as well that are coming. Sorry. You'll know it when you see it. It has a Colossus and a Magic in the title. You know, I read all the comments. I do. I read every single one of them. So of course these are here. The other thing that I want to talk about, you can jump to the next slide, that is really cool about this process. There you go. Yeah, that's the one. They're coming back. They do exist, people. They do exist. The other part of this project that was really exciting from a development perspective and from just like an overall products perspective is that as we went through these repacks, it gave us a chance to reevaluate characters. So for those of you who've seen the Gambit card and the fixes and rebalances to Gambit, that is available for the first time in the prize pool, and I know has gone all over the internet. He's not the first, nor is he the last. All of these packs that we've been going through the reissues, we've been taking the opportunity to sit down as a development team and really deep dive on, are we happy with where this character is? Do we think they need rebalance changes? In a more kind of dynamic and progress forward way, because we're able to do it rather than as a big group, we're able to sprinkle these into our playtesting cycle. And that first batch, which is all of the ones that are releasing this year in these packs, is going to be made available to you in a character rebalance and update that's going to appear in May. So, number of characters that have been adjusted, including our boy Colossus, he's one of them. Of course, Gambit got a relook. I don't know, Ben, throw some other ones that you were really happy about, because I don't remember the whole list. Magic, Bullseye. Sinister not in this one, but actually he is in playtest right now, so. There's so many. So and the important bit to note, if they're not in this balance pass, there'll be another balance pass probably within the next 12 months, if not sooner. So you're gonna see a little bit more. Oh, is that it? You know it's true, you have to do it. They're in products that are on the schedule. You can be mad about it all you want, Pagani, it doesn't change anything. So again, just going back to our overall commitment to the game, our excitement to be able to continue to refine and rebalance. Obviously we do our utmost to make sure that everything we release when we release it is the best it possibly can be. Our goal is to never make a single change. Yes, Pagani, that's still the mantra. No changes is the mantra. We know that's impossible though. The game is just simply too big. There's too many different really genius players out there who know how to get our goat and make Pagani stay sad. The innovation, the changing environments, all of these different things. No matter how much we play test, we can never match the number of games that you all play for your passion and excitement and enjoyment of the game within the first month. And so we're just committed to make sure that the game remains as steady and stable as possible. We also want to be very careful with changes, as we've talked about a lot, so we do take our time to make sure that they're fully vetted and play tested and things like that. But a great part of this reissue process is not only are these characters coming back to you in these new packages if you missed them the first time. The other great part of it is that it has somewhat sped up our ability to do these rebalances because of the dynamic nature of how they're releasing. So it's going to be a very exciting couple of years as we move through this stuff in terms of seeing that stuff. If there's a character that you are hoping might be touched, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but you'll know sooner rather than later in this case. And again, we have a slide at the end that I think everyone will enjoy, which kind of gives you the full roadmap for all of these reissues. So if you have a character that you're like, I can't find it anywhere, hopefully that slide will at least give you some confidence and understanding of where that's going to come, and that'll be at the very end of the thing. Okay, maybe not for all of you, but I know if you're here, your desire is to see the game grow as much as ours. You want to introduce your passion and your enjoyment to all the new players that are out there, all the potential players, and we have some really cool stuff coming for the end of the year, which are brand new starter options. So these are starter sets.
Oh wow.
And I want to walk you through a little bit of what a starter set is and how it's different from the core
Part of all of it.
So for somebody who knows they want to go all in on Crisis Protocol, the core set is still an amazing option. It has your full roster of characters. It has a ton of terrain that you can use to start laying out at your table if you don't have it. It has all the templates, the tokens, the movement tools, all that stuff. You know, the only thing about that is that it is a significant investment. So if you're just like, you're unsure, you're not really convinced that maybe this is the amount of money you want to invest into the hobby first, we wanted to provide a new option. And of course, there's always the argument that maybe there's mightiest content. You just don't, those characters aren't for you. You'd rather see a different assortment. So this year, we're going to be launching new starter sets. These starter sets include a full roster, so all 10 characters. They have all of the game materials you need, so the cards, the dice, the tools, the tokens, all that stuff. The only thing they're missing from the normal versus mightiest core set is really the terrain. However, that means that we're able to offer these at under $100.
Whoa.
So these two starters. So these two starter sets are targeted to retail for $90, $89.99. And again, they're going to represent a really great way for new players to get in, players who want to jump in with the X-Men right away, players who are joining existing store communities where they know they have tables and you know, terrain that's set up, all that good things. There's going to be some of these, like the X-Men, that will be evergreen starters, so you'll see that one like as a core product. It will continue to be available. There'll be others like the Spider-Verse here that might be more limited time, and then those contents will get broken up again into the affiliation packs. And what that will allow us to do is to constantly reinvigorate and reset new starters, so that there's always new opportunities for players to come in with cool things, to kind of have a rotating cast of these starter sets, to make sure that we're constantly being interesting and exciting to these different people. And so future ones that we already have planned, as Guardians is a starter, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy is a starter, a lot of those really key affiliations, we'll likely see a moment as a new starter set for players to jump in and dive into at a really great introductory price, because we know that once you start playing the game, you're going to have a blast, and you're going to want to start collecting more and more characters that are all your favorites, and exploring those different team combinations. So this is a really big moment for us as a studio, and a huge initiative that's going forward to really start to amp up that acquisition, bring more and more players into the game that has grown so much in the last 6 years, and it's just been amazing to watch. All right, let's go to some new rules for all of you vets who are here, because I know you already have your starters, you already have your X-Men. You don't have a Phoenix, so let's take a look at Phoenix. So Phoenix, the X-Men's first 6th threat. She's scary. And one of the really fun things about this, and I think I saw somebody ask a question there, like, why are the two Phoenixes on different bases? Well, I can tell you right now, they're not two different characters. They're the same character. Phoenix here has a bit of a transformation problem. She starts out as a very team-oriented, like, I'm gonna heal you, I'm gonna help my team, I'm gonna protect them. And then she starts watching as, like, Wolverine gets knocked out, and, you know, Storm gets knocked out, Rogue gets knocked out. And and she's like, I gotta let it loose. I gotta let it loose. And so she turns into the Phoenix Unleashed. And the Phoenix Unleashed, of course, is absolutely terrifying. She has all the power. She has her own token mechanic in terms of how she generates Phoenix Force tokens and things like that. But there's a really fun mini game that we were able to develop because, of course, one of the storylines that's through and through with Phoenix is the fact that Jean Grey struggles to control the Phoenix Force. That it has a mind of its own will, and those kinds of things. And so one of the development challenges and one of the fun things we got to really work on was how do we put that into the game in a way that's fun for both players. And so while the Phoenix is super powerful, and when she becomes unleashed, she can become a real terror, the opponent doesn't just have to daze her. There are ways that you can overload her with the Phoenix Force that she basically explodes and disappears until she comes back with like the White Room and things like that. So just a really fun character, exciting to see what she brings into the game. And if you played in Worlds, this is an important one, either in the Heat 1 or the Heat 2, tomorrow you come to the tournament area and you can get your own gold foiled Worlds 2025 Phoenix Stat card. So you have the very first Phoenix Stat card in the world that participated in our first Worlds format. You can have one too. Okay, let's go to the next one. So coming along to fight the next one, we have some Brotherhood reinforcements, Avalanche, Exodus, and Lady Mastermind. We got Exodus's card up there for everyone to take a look at. He's a really cool high threat. Again, Exodus, this whole pack, we went back to basics on the Brotherhood. We leaned into the high threat, like the high threat bruisers with Magneto, Exodus, and then their use of their pawns, as it were, the lower threat characters. So there's some fun team tactic cards in there as well. Avalanche and Lady Mastermind kind of fill out some of the lower roles. Lady Mastermind was really fun to work on because we came up with a mechanic that allows her to attack with other people's attacks. That wasn't completely broken, so we managed to pull that one off. It took a lot of work. Ben's just nodding his head. He's like that Vietnam dog meme right now. It's just the helicopters are in the background. I can see them. If you want to take a look at these miniatures in person, I believe Dom's just put them in the case for tomorrow, so you can go take a look at them as well. We had some stealth illusions in there. Okay, let's go to the next one. These guys were already in the case. Maybe we should help them here. So, Spider-Man 2099, Zach cards up there. Spider-Man 2099, funny enough, has been in development since the game started development. It was planned to be one of the first initial packs alongside Miles and Gwen, and he just wound up getting pushed, and now he's not here. So he's very different from those initial days, but his core remains the same. He is the Web Warrior's bruiser, as much as a bruiser as a Web Warrior can be. So he's the muscle of the team. He's got a lot of really cool abilities. Playtest had a blast with him. Our Web Warrior playtesters especially really enjoyed the kind of diversity he brought to the team. Ultimate Miles Morales, this is Miles, much like we had Spider-Man's Amazing Spider-Man. Ultimate Miles is Miles fully in control of his power, so that's kind of represented through his bioelectricity, but he brings it to the game in a really fun way, and is a different option for players who are looking to play a different version of Miles. And then of course Prowler, this is the Into the Spider-Verse version of Prowler, so it's not Hobby, it actually is Aaron Davis. Another character that was really fun to work on. We're excited for what they bring to the Web Warriors and the other affiliations that they fit into. Let's look at the other half of the Spider-Verse releases. I want to point out for all the viewers at home, you said we wouldn't make another true threat, and we made Spider-Man a true threat. There you go. Two threats are always kind of an interesting challenge. I really love the animation domination feel we got. Tuneness with Spider-Ham is really fun. Silk, another really cool character, brings a lot of new options to Web Warriors and some of the other affiliations. And Spider Noir, I mean, he drinks and screams and he punches Nazis. What more can you say about that?
Yeah.
That's what he does. All right, let's jump to the next one. So you can take a look at this one. Also in the case of Dallas just set them up. So if you want to take a look at the real miniatures. But more Defenders and Avengers reinforcements coming in. Really fun pack to work on. Excited to show off more rules for them. So again, Echo has been sculpted for I think 3 years now. We finally managed 4 years now. Thank you, Dallas. Finally got to release her. And then these were also the case, but they're coming in to close out our year, which is Spectrum and Blue Marvel. So you probably saw these in the case as well. Blue Marvel, one of my top characters to bring into the game. I love the character in the comics. I was really excited to expose Blue Marvel to maybe more players and fans of the Marvel Universe who might not have heard of him, depending on how you kind of have come to Marvel through the different media. And of course, Spectrum, just an incredible character. And these two, if you know their relationship and kind of their challenges in the comics, really great. They do bring a new affiliation with them, which is the Mighty Avengers, which focuses on that run in the comics as well. Okay, enough with things that are painted. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. Go ahead. It's Kang the Conqueror.
What?
So, oftentimes, folks will ask me, why are these 4 characters together? And my sneaky answer is, well, they all have armor suits based off of Stark Tech. And I'm sticking to that story. So, this pack has all of the cool armor suits in it. We've got Rescue coming in with some amazing heal mechanics that make her really interesting and unique. Kang the Conqueror, who does everything with rerolls and time. Ironmonger, who's going to support Cabal and Criminal Syndicate. And then, of course, we have Iron Lad in case you want to play Kang before you turn bad. And so, just a ton of really cool things there, some awesome stuff that's coming, and we're really excited to bringing Kang into the game is definitely one of those like bucket list things that you're always like, gotta have him, he's amazing. And the sculptures turned out fantastic. Some characters to reinforce the Cosmos folks from Guardians of the Galaxy. This pack brings back Infinity Gems in a pretty big way. Adam Warlock being, of course, the being of cosmic power, who also has his own unique bonded soul gem. So exciting to kind of show that stuff off. If you're curious what these look like with paints on them, Dallas actually snuck them in the case down the stickers. And of course, the Moondragon sculpt, do nothing tomorrow, just go and awe the majesty of the engineering and the sculpting on that, because it's incredible and fantastic. But these fine folks will be coming to reinforce Guardians and several other affiliations. Let's go again to space or to a different place. Oh my God! Valkyrie, now to be clear, this is Valkyrie from the Exiles, not Valkyrie who's currently in the game, which is Brunhilde. This Valkyrie only goes by Valkyrie. There you go, it's confusing, but it's what we got. So Valkyrie and her Pegasi and Lindell, and then of course the Warriors 3. Being the Warriors 3, all on the base. Another fun unit to design, just to kind of represent each one throughout their different attacks and powers and everything else. I mentioned at the front that I gave you a spoiler because Ross kind of like boned me with that slide that was supposed to get removed and didn't get removed about Tolerance's Extinction. Why would we release a Tolerance's Extinction pack without a bunch of new mutants?
Woo!
So X-Factor affiliation finally coming to the game as well with Havoc and Multiple Man. So X-Factor and X-Factor Investigations. Ultimate Man, of course, has his multiples. Jubilee, we're done. Complete, X-Men complete.
Woo!
They're calling it a day. Dallas Hype from Tire, we hit them all. And of course, Danny Moonstar as well. Really fun pack. We had a blast working on these fine folks. But if you got a mutant problem,
There it is.
of course, you need to call them the big guns. The Sentinels, they needed some more stuff. Nimrod heard your calls from the future. He's like, this is unacceptable, and he zipped back. He gave Dallas a vision. And so Nimrod, Bastion, and the Omega Sentinel are going to be coming to the game. In addition, Omega Sentinel. And then the Prime Sentinels, the Omega Prime Sentinels. It's always confusing because there's the character one and then there's the little guys. So the Omega Prime Sentinels are going to be in the Tolerance's Extinction pack as well. So there's going to be 4 new characters for the Sentinel affiliation coming out alongside Tolerance's Extinction, along with all the mutants. We're really excited for that. It's going to be a big event for us over the course of the year. And if you want to see Nimrod, he's in the case downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the roadmap slide because we've come to the conclusion of all the stuff for the upcoming year. So this kind of gives you again the layout of when things are coming and what to expect. So that's there. I'll let everyone take the snapshot. And then, because it won't fit on one slide, we also have the reissue plan. So again, like I talked about at the front, if you're wondering or curious as to a character that you haven't been able to find a pack for, it's sold out at your store, or you are have come online, know that we're going to get to it. Of course, it's a huge amount of reissues, right? And we want to make sure that we're continually bringing out new things, as well as reissuing old things into these packs. So we have a plan, and we're going to be executing it, and this will hopefully give you all the information you need to be comfortable and confident in the fact that we're committed to the long term, and we do know, and we're monitoring all of these different levels, and we're trying to do our best to make sure that as things move out of the channel, we're bringing them back in a timely manner. So here's the current working title. Of course, things may shift and change a little bit as we move forward, depending on the needs and what's going on. But as we move through this, we're going to make sure that every character, of course, has its opportunity to come back. If you miss it the first time, you'll get the chance with the repack and the reissue. And that brings us to the end of Marvel Crisis Protocol. Thanks so much for joining us.
Where's Howard the Duck?
Fantastic Four.
Howard the Duck.